Good. Okay. So last lecture we stopped with page 16, right? And when we discussed how Dr. Foster's was in conflict, like to follow the devil or not. And then you remember when he made up his mind saying that he will build a church, an altar in order to glorify the devil, Lucifer, right? Do you remember this? Could you hear me again?
Yes, sir, we hear you.
Okay, good. Yes. So we'll continue the scene by reading from line number 39. Anyone of you would like to read? Because, as I've told you that this scene is important because it reflects how Faustus made up his mind and decided to indulge himself with the magic or black magic. So, anyone of you would like to read? You students, online students, because it seems that nobody is here today, so I'm alone here in the class. So I'm just with you online students. You'd like to read, anybody? Any students? No? Okay, I'll read and I'll explain. Mephistopheles actually told Dr. Faustus that if he would like to sign the bond, he should sign it using his own blood. So he told him to cut or to stab his arm. It is on line 47, lines 47. Then Faustus stabbed thine arm courageously. So he agreed. Faustus agreed to cut or to stab his arm in order to sign the bond. Mephistopheles actually promised Faustus. That he will be at his service if he signed the bond. But actually, he was just like deceiving him, because as I have told you that many times Faustus asked for things to do. Mephistopheles wanted, but Mephistopheles actually won't agree anything, saying every time he gave him a specific excuse that he can't bring him a wife or whatever. So here it is kind of irony, because actually Faustus thought that Mephistopheles is able to fulfill his needs, but what seems to us is that he did not do anything for him, just seduced him or tempted him to get his soul, and he succeeded and left him alone after that. So if you look at line number 45, but tell me, Faustus, shall I have thy soul? So he was asking, Mephistopheles was asking him whether he gonna like retrieve or take his soul or not. Faustus agreed, actually, as I have told you, and he promised him, I mean Mephistopheles promised Dr. Faustus that, if you look at the next line, 45, that I will be thy slave, I'll wait on thee. So here he promised Dr. Faustus, Mephistopheles promised Dr. Faustus that he will be his slave at his service all the time, and wait for him for 24 years, okay? 24 years. And we discussed why the bond is 24 years, not like more or less. Then he told him, you know, in order to convince him signing the bond, next line, he told him that, and give thee more than thou hast wit to ask. In other words, he told him that, and Mephistopheles told Faustus that he will give him more than he wishes. Mephistopheles will give Faustus more than what he wishes, okay? Which is actually another irony, because nothing happened, just a kind of deception, okay? I mean, Faustus was deceived many times. This is one of the times that he's been deceived. Next line, Mephistopheles asked Dr. Faustus, would you stab your arm? Would you stab your arm courageously? So he is encouraging him now. Now he is encouraging Faustus to cut his arm or to stab his arm in order to get blood. So next line, and bind thy soul, that at some certain day great Lucifer might claim it as at his own, and then be thou as great as Lucifer. So here he's promising him that that Faustus is going to be great, exactly as the great Lucifer, okay, exactly as the great Lucifer. So Mephistopheles actually here is comparing between Lucifer and Faustus. He is tempting him using another tactic or another strategy, that if he signs the bond, he will get power, control, or whatever, just as the great Lucifer. Look at the word great. I suppose that this is the first time that Mephistopheles used great Lucifer directly. Why did he use this? Because he wanted to first encourage Faustus to sign the bond, and second, if he signed the bond, he will be, Faustus will be great, exactly as the great Lucifer, okay? The great Lucifer. So it's a kind of manipulating, Faustus' emotions and feelings. Why? In order to let him sign the bond. This is only for the sake of signing the bond. Okay? So many times we know that Mephistopheles played with or manipulated Faustus' emotions and feelings, thoughts, everything. Why? In order to let him sign the bond and agree the contract. Okay? So now it is time to sign the bond. He told him what to do: to stab himself and get some blood in order to use it for signing the bond. Is it clear till now? Any questions do you have here? Do you have any questions, students? No questions? Okay. If you don't have any questions, I will continue. Okay. So line number 52, we know that now Faustus, look at the two brackets, stabbing his arm, Lord Mephistopheles, for love of thee. So Faustus now stabbed his arm in order to get some blood. Okay, so now it is no time to return back to humanity. It is not. It is, or let us say, there is no time for him to go back to normal life. Now he is just like entering a new era and entering a new stage of his life. Okay, that is to deal with the devil directly. So Faustus takes the step. Actually, Faustus takes the step to sign the bone. The first step to sign the bone is stabbing himself, and that's what he did. Actually, that's what he did. Okay. Look at the next line, 53. I cut mine arm, and with my proper blood assure my soul to be great Lucifer's, chief lord and regret of perpetual night. View her the blood that trickles from mine arm, and let it perpetuous for my own wish. Write it in a manner of a deed of gift. Okay, so here it is just like the process. It is just like the process of sorry, it's just like the process of signing the bone, the process of stabbing himself. When he starts to stab himself, to cut his arm or to hurt himself in order to get some blood. Okay, he is speaking about the great Lucifer, that Faustus' soul will be Lucifer's own. Okay, he will own it. Okay, and how the wishes that Dr. Faustus wanted them will be fulfilled, and many things. So he's just like, he's in the middle of cutting his arm and then thinking about these things. Okay, he said that now it is time to sign the bone. So he cut the arm. If you read, or if you look at line number 55, 6, 7, 8, 9, line number 59, write it in a manner of a deed of gift. So this is the document or the contract that Dr. Faustus is gonna sign. Okay, a deed of gift, a deed of gift. I told you to underline this many times because it is important that a deed of gift means the contract between both Faustus and Lucifer. Okay. Next line, Faustus, so I will, writes, but Mephistopheles, my blood congeals, and I can write no more. Mephistopheles, I'll fetch the fire to dissolve it straight. So here for Mephistopheles exit. So when Faustus was about to cut his arm, and actually he did that, he cut his arm in order to get some blood. There are actually two signs, as if these signs were Faustus' final warning. Not to follow the devil, final warning. Okay, the first sign is when Faustus actually stabbed his arm. The blood did not come out of his arm. The blood did not come out of his arm. In other words, the blood is congealed. Okay, it means it's frozen. No blood came out Faustus' arm. It is a sign to just give Faustus final chance. Let us say. Final chance, final warning, not to follow the devil. Okay, so what happened here? That
yes,
that his blood, or he doesn't have blood from his arm. It's just like it's just like frozen. Okay, what Mephistopheles did actually, when he saw that Faustus could not get some blood, he told him that he will fetch or he will bring some woods or some fire in order to let the blood come out, the arm. So Mephistopheles actually did his best. Mephistopheles did his best in order to, let Faustus sign the bond. Okay, so he seduced him many times. Then he helped him actually. Now, first Mephistopheles helped the Faustus in order to get the blood. What did he do? He brought fire. Okay, in order to unfreeze the blood. Okay, unfreeze or uncongeal the blood. So he tries his best. I mean, Mephistopheles tries his best to help Faustus get some blood. Okay. I told you, no blood in Faustus' arm is a sign, a final retribution, a final warning, a final choice for the Faustus not to follow the arm, not to follow the magic. Actually, there is another sign. We will see this sign in the next line. Yeah. So next, what happened is that Faustus said that what might the stain of my blood portend? It is unwilling I should write this bill. If you can see the word bill, it is a kind of trading that he bought something and Faustus or Mephistopheles, just like he bought the soul from Faustus, and Faustus get the knowledge, the power that he wished for. So the word bill is actually a kind of like he paid for something, so he needs to fulfill the contract or whatever. This is important. This one is important, so underline it. Faustus is wondering why there is no blood. He returned back to his conscience, to his thoughts, normal conscience, normal thoughts, normal feelings, that probably something wrong is going to happen, something wrong that's going to happen. But again, Mephistopheles actually, he immediately brought fire for Faustus in order to get the blood. So he did not give him time to think about this sign. He did not give him time to think about this sign. Next page. If you read, or I will read actually. Faustus gives thee his soul. There it is said, why shouldst thou not? Is not thy soul thine own? Then write again, Faustus gives thee his soul. So, here actually, Faustus actually here is giving him his soul willingly to Mephistopheles, and therefore to Lucifer, and therefore to Lucifer as a gift. Okay, he told Mephistopheles that his soul will be Lucifer's, or the great Lucifer as a gift. Okay, as a gift. Now enter Mephistopheles with the chapter of coals. Mephistopheles, here is fire. Come, Faustus, set it on. Faustus. So now the blood begins to clean again. Now will I make an end immediately? Mephistopheles, oh, what will not I do to obtain his soul? So it is aside, as it is written or clear for you, aside. Actually, Mephistopheles, when he enters the stage again with a fire or pieces of wood, okay, actually he told him to set the fire with this wood, with these woods actually. Then Faustus willingly again is happy to give his blood, to sign the bond with his own blood. Okay, you know, there is no time to hesitate again. There is no time to be confused. There is no time to think about what is going on around him or the signs that he is like noticing. Okay, so what did he say, Faustus? Now will I make an end immediately? Okay, so he is rushing things. You know, he is rushing things means that he wants to end this immediately. No time. He does not want to waste more time. He does not want to waste more time thinking about the consequences probably, or thinking about hell, heaven, God, angels, everything around him, because what is in his mind now is just to end the bond and to start a new stage of his life, to start a new age or stage of his life. So Faustus actually now signed the bond. This bill is ended. This bill is ended, he said. And Faustus actually, his soul now officially, legally becomes what? Lucifer's property, just like one of Lucifer's property, or part of Lucifer's kingdom. Okay, part of Lucifer's kingdom. Do you have any questions before continue? عندكم أي سؤال يعني قبل ما نكمل؟
Yes.
Yes, please.
When Faustus is trying to sign the contract, when his blood is congealed, then we consider it as a second hint from the playwright, and that Faustus is still a religious man. Or he is something dealing with religion inside himself.
Well, he denied this sign. You know, he denied this sign and the other sign that.
Yes, he insisted to continue signing the contract.
Right. Yeah. You know, this is, we can consider this sign and then the next one as warnings, final warning. Okay, our final hope, the final hope. Okay, or the final chance for Dr. Faustus. But did he accept these signs or not? Let us say this. He did not accept them. He even ignored them. He just thinks that this sign happened normally because it was at night. You remember such events, such terrible events, such scary, such frightened things like the appearance of the devil or practicing magic. I told you many times that these scenes happen at night. Probably we have rain, storm, or whatever. So he was thinking, probably Faustus is thinking about this sign as not a sign of avoiding signing the bond, but it is a sign that it is probably it's because it's freezing outside. The contract is gonna like be signed at night. So he did not want to believe himself that this is a warning for him. So this is between two brackets, that he did not want to believe himself that this sign is a warning for him or probably a hope. So we can say that this sign and the next one are symbol of final hope, or symbol of retribution, or let us sign of let us a warning, as I have told you. So probably it is a symbol. It is a religious symbol. Okay, it is a religious symbol from God. Okay, a religious symbol from God to avoid following or signing the bond. Okay. Any more questions you have? Nothing? Okay. So while he was while he was cutting or stabbing his arm, and I told you that no blood came out of his hand or arm, and Mephistopheles actually brought to him the fire, and he got the blood finally. Meanwhile, another sign appeared on his arm, an inscription appeared on his arm, an inscription appeared on his arm. This inscription is very important. This inscription is very important. It is probably just like God is giving Faustus chances to retribute, okay? Or let us say to think again about God's forgiveness, So in other words, God never forgot anybody. God never forgot anybody, okay? So, the very let us say, stressful scene, this scene, in the middle of this scene, which is the climax of the novel, of the play, okay? And Faustus is completely convinced that this is the only way to get the knowledge or control or ever, okay? God still, not thinking, but let us say, giving chances to people to retribute, okay, or to forget the devil and go back to the normal life, or to think about God again. So what can we conclude from this? A moral lesson that in the middle of committing a mistake, God still present, okay, or exist. So chances always available in order to to follow God's instructions or law. So the next sign, I'll repeat this for you. There are two important signs. The first one is when the blood did not come out of Faustus' arm. The second one is in the second line, or third line, 76, line number 76. Home fudge, whither should I fly? Home fudge, these two words appeared on Faustus' arm after getting the blood. So we have two signs. The first one is when the blood is freeze, okay, or frozen actually, no more blood. The next one is when an inscription appeared on his arm. These words means man fly, or you have to fly, or to escape, or to let us say give up or quit. Quit it means يترك, okay, or to prevent or to avoid, okay, whatever you want to say. So fly here means that Faustus needs to let us say leave this matter or this condition actually, and to leave Satan or Lucifer or whatever, and go back to God. As I've told you before, that in the middle of committing mistakes, because Faustus now is about to sign the bond, and to commit the very big mistake, which is practicing magic or sign the bond with the devil itself, okay? So in the middle of doing this, God did not forget Faustus. God gave Faustus another two chances. The first one is when the blood did not come out of his arm. The second one, when an inscription, words appeared on Faustus' arm saying that he should fly. It means he should avoid, he should escape or from signing the bond, okay, with the devil. So two chances, final chances, were given to Faustus in order not to follow Lucifer, okay? But the problem here is, did Dr. Faustus believed on these signs, or he just rejected them as usual? He rejects them, by the way, okay? He rejected these two signs as when he rejected the advice of the good angel, if you can remember, okay? And when he rejected his conscience, his feelings, his many things that he was thinking about, okay? So, in other words, from these 3-4 lines, we can say that Faustus actually denied God's final warning, okay, or chances, or the hope that that God gave him, okay. So now Faustus is officially actually condemned or damned, okay, because he signed the bond. He signed the bond. Okay. Do you have any questions before moving on? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, can I say something?
Yes, Muhammad Sinan, yes.
Yeah, about Faustus. You sure this guy's smart? Like, at the beginning of the play, we see that he studied philosophy and theology and all those sciences. Mm-hmm. And then, when a literal inscription appears on his hand, he just ignores it.
Right.
And later in the play, when he doubts the existence of hell. So, I'm getting mixed messages here. Beginning of the play, he's a smart guy and he finished all those human sciences and he wants more. And then here, he's kind of an idiot, really.
Yo, I couldn't hear you actually. Your voice is so unclear. Unclear. Could you repeat the questions, please?
The question is, I'm getting mixed messages here.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the play, we see that he's a smart guy. He studied all human sciences, theology, philosophy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then here, he's acting stupidly.
Right.
Like, yeah, I'm not getting this.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Well, he's not stupid, by the way, and probably we should not use this word with him to describe him, because yes, you are right. At the beginning of the play, he's a smart guy, he's a smart scholar, but you know, usually when devils tempted people, they just like unconsciously make them blind, okay? Blind from what? Blind from seeing the truth. Blind from seeing the truth. How? By telling them like, you'll get knowledge, you'll get power. So unconsciously, Faustus, forget the truth, or he's blind from seeing the truth. He's blind from seeing the truth, okay? Now, he rejected these two signs, not because he's not smart, but because what is in his mind now? In his mind is just to sign the bond. So he did not like let us say he did not keep himself busy to think about these signs and to probably analyze them, or to explain, or to speak about them in details, or to think about where did they come from, why and how. So he is so busy to sign the bond in one way or another. So we can't say he is stupid, but he was in a rush. Okay, you know rush, right? That he is so let us say. Just a minute. Okay. So he is just like so eager to sign the bond, ignoring anything around him. So did he? Let me ask this this question. Did he scared when Mephistopheles told him that Lucifer will get his soul and then the bond should be written or signed using blood and he should cut his arm. He was not scared, by the way, and even he was not scared from entering the hell. So these matters that, like the signs that he saw or watched or noticed, are minor things for him. Why? Because there is greater matter in front of his eyes, that is signing the bone. So he rejected unconsciously, he rejected these two signs, okay? But if we look at Faustus from different angle, that from different point of view, if you bring Faustus, the man at the beginning of the play, and put him here in this scene, do you think that he will agree all of these things or he will reject them again? If you bring Faustus from the man at the beginning of the play, when we described him, when he was among his studies, if you bring him and put him here in the middle of this scene, do you think that he still accept these scenes or reject them or analyze them or speak about them in details or ever? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, of course, Faustus at the beginning of the play, if we bring him and put him here, he might not agree about these devilish things, because I told you before that the development of characters, remember the triangle when the characters developed scene by scene or step by step, okay? So from scene to scene, or from let us say event to event, or whatever, Faustus' character is developed, okay, to a way, or to, let us say, to a character that neglecting things around him, because at the beginning he still realizes God exists, right? He knows about religions, about theology. I told you he has conscience, by the way. But later on, when his character developed, he started to lose things from his self-conscious, like the innocent, probably, or let us say, started to lose his friends, probably. Okay, so he lost many things while his character developed. Okay, one of the things that he lost is believing on God. So when he lost this faith or belief, he becomes blind, not physically blind, but he can't see the truth any longer. Why? Because mistakes blinded his sight. Have you got this idea?
Yeah, I get it. Is it the same thing when later he starts questioning the existence of hell after all of this?
Right, yeah, yes, right. So, well, if we have time to finish the play, we can see that at the end of the play, Faustus, when it is too late, Faustus realized that signing the bond with the devil or Lucifer is a big mistake, but it's too late. He can't go back, okay? So, from the beginning of the play, not the beginning, probably scene number 3 and so on, there are, let us say, signs, warnings from God to Faustus. Faustus always denied that God is, when he met Mephistopheles, he started to deny that God exists, okay? And he was, let us say, questioning all the time if God forgot him or not. You remember when he told him, or he spoke with himself, saying that God does not help him, God forgot him, right? But if we look at the role of goodness here, or the angels, or God himself, we see that God course, with the angels, always gave Faustus advices, chances to repent, okay, chances to repent and chances to retribute, okay. But because the mistakes that Faustus committed, these mistakes blinded his sight, not the physical sight, let us say the mind. His mind is become blind from seeing the truth. His heart becomes black from loving others, okay, from, let us say, seeing the actual things around him. So he believed on Mephistopheles more than believing on God, okay. And this is part of Lucifer's temptation, that because following Lucifer, people who are following Lucifer, or cause the devil, I mean, okay, they lost their humanity. They lost their humanity to the extent that they can't see God's role or God's advice or God's final chances. So again, the problem is with Faustus. He's still smart, he's still skillful, he's still debatable or whatever, okay. But the problem with him is that above his head, in front of his eyes, there is only one thing now, is to sign the bond, ignoring all the good, the bad signs around him, ignoring everything around him, rejecting everything around him. So it is not, he is not smart now. He's smart, but because he has priorities, priorities, right? Priorities. That first, signing the bond, because before this, he has made up his mind. He has made up his mind that the only solution for his problems or issues in life, that is knowledge or controlling others or whatever, is to sign the bond with the devil, so he can get the knowledge he needs or the fortune he needs, okay. So the first thing, as I've told you, is to get or to sign the bond, even if it costs him his life, and that's what's happened. So it is not, we can't say he's stupid now, because still he's clever, but the problem that again, Mephistopheles always deceived him, when he promised him that he can fulfill his wishes, but he did not do that. So the problem with Faustus, because of the mistakes again, that he is being deceived, he became blind, consciously blind, I mean. Yeah, I think this is the answer of the questions, okay?
Sure, thanks.
Yeah. So the last sign, just 1 minute and I finish the lecture. As I've told you, the last sign is when Faustus actually notes on his arm inscriptions saying that he should get rid of this. He should escape from the devil's contract, however. But again, he rejected unconsciously. By the way, unconsciously, he rejected these two signs. Meanwhile, Mephistopheles notes that Faustus begins to hesitate, because he said, whether should I fly? Can you see the question mark here? Here is questioning himself. Faustus is questioning himself. Line number 76. Line number 76. Faustus is questioning himself, saying, should I avoid signing the bond because of these inscriptions? But look at the temptation of Mephistopheles, or how did he let Faustus follow him? He promised him, or he brought for him actually, he brought him like a crown with fireworks, and let him, keep himself busy, not thinking about go back, how to go back to not to sign the bond. So whenever Faustus is questioning himself about real things, real facts. Mephistopheles actually all the time kept Faustus' mind busy with different things. So now, what did he do? He tell him, I'll fetch him somewhat to delight his mind. To delight his mind, it means that to, after signing the bond. To delight his mind means to amuse him, to amuse Dr. Faustus, to let him forget what happened previously, I say, previously. So, Mephistopheles, in other words, did not give a chance to Faustus to think about what is going around him, So again, he deceived him many times by tempting him all the time not fulfill his wishes. Okay. So I think this is enough for today. Next lecture, please do not forget we have an exam. Okay. Just 15 minutes وإن شاء الله today راح أعطيكم إن شاء الله كم سؤال يعني حاولوا تحلوه وتستفادوا من عنده. Next lecture also sorry تقرون يعني إلى نهاية عندكم أي سؤال عيني قبل أن نمشي بالمادة؟ أي استفسار؟ عندكم أي استفسار عيني؟ No? Okay. تقرون إلى نهاية السين. Okay, no problem. تقرون إلى نهاية السين. يبقى نفس السين يعني واجبكم. امتحانكم يكون أيضا مثل ما بلغناكم سين number 1 and 3, right? سين number 1 and 3. مفهوم عيني؟ البرولوج ما مطالبين به. عندكم استفسار عيني قبل المحاضرة؟ أي استفسار عيني؟ No thanks. Okay.